What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today's video brings me to Green Hills Memorial Park. I'm visiting the grave of WWF superstar Yokozuna.
So, we're of course Yokozuna, Mr. Fuji. Let me ask you something. Sure. What does this gentleman eat? Everything makes you go,
Well, he composed about 25 to 30 pounds of food every day. For breakfast, he'll eat about a dozen hard-boiled eggs, about 24 ounces of steak, big bottle of orange juice to make you healthy, a dozen pancakes.
We wouldn't want anything unhealthy in there.
Sergio, there's no ending. It's just a beautiful sight to see my Yokozuna just eating. When he's eating, I'm happy.
And when you're happy, I'm happy.
Oh, yes.
What do you like the best about wrestling?
The traveling, get to see all over the world, the business itself, in and out of the ring, in front of the crowd, you know, performing in front of the crowd, a live crowd. That's what gets me off on this business.
Born Rodney Anoai on October 2nd, 1966, in San Francisco, California. Yeah, you guys know him as Yokozuna. He was a professional wrestler for the promotion WWF, now known as WWE. The name Yokozuna actually comes from Japan. And basically what a Yokozuna is, he is the highest rank in sumo wrestling. And so since Rodney was well over 500 pounds, he portrayed a sumo wrestler, but he wasn't actually Japanese. No, he was Samoan American and a cousin of the great one, The Rock. It all started with a family of wrestlers. Yeah, the Anoai family is pretty well known in the wrestling business. Like I said, The Rock is a cousin of Yokozuna. Rikishi, remember that guy with the stink faces? Yeah, him. He's a cousin of Yokozuna. And Rikishi's sons, the Usos, are also cousins of Yokozuna. At an early age, Rodney was trained by his uncles, the Wild Samoans, Afa and Sika. Yeah, they were in the WWF, now E, back in the day. I don't really remember watching them. I was too young for all of that, but I do remember watching some of Yokozuna. And I for sure remember Rikishi. Yeah, like I said, the Anoai family, they're well known in the wrestling business. Like, right now, their top guy, I believe, is Roman Reigns. He's a young guy in the business. Yokozuna was his ring name, but when he first got started, his name used to be the Great Coquina. His first exposure in the US was when he came to the American Wrestling Association, known as the AWA, as Coquina Maximus. During his time as Coquina Maximus, he was billed as the biggest Samoan wrestler ever. Right on the side of this road right here lies a Great One. In fact, a Great One's cousin, Rodney Anoai Yokozuna. Here he is, everybody. Once known as the largest Samoan wrestler ever. In 1992, he was finally contacted by Vince McMahon in the WWE. He was offered a spot on the roster along with the Samoans, Fatu and Samoan Savage. He made his debut in the WWF as Coquina. It was untelevised though. That match happened on September 1st, 1992. And that was the only time he wrestled under that name. He was offered a new gimmick, Yokozuna. During his stint as Yokozuna, he was managed by Mr. Fuji. He was a heel in the business. And Yokozuna debuted on October 31st, 1992. Rodney as Yokozuna wore a mawashi just like a real sumo wrestler, except he wore long tights underneath. I remember seeing him in white, red, and I think even black. Later, the boss Vince McMahon and Rikishi, his cousin, thought that he didn't really need to wear the tights underneath, and he should have left himself exposed, kind of like how Rikishi did it. His career took off in 1993 when he won that Royal Rumble. He eliminated Randy Savage, and he went off to WrestleMania to fight for the champion. He went on to WrestleMania 9. He wrestled Bret Hart for the champion. He had a little help from his manager, Mr. Fuji, though. Mr. Fuji threw salt in his eyes. And yeah, Mr. Fuji was known to walk around with salt during his matches with some other wrestlers. Yeah, so he threw salt in his eyes, and Yokozuna pinned Bret Hart and won. Only to lose the champion to Hulk Hogan that same night. He did regain the champion, though, at the King of the Ring that same year against Hogan. And who could forget his casket match with The Undertaker? In May 1994, on an episode of Monday Night Raw, Yokozuna had a real sumo match against Earthquake. Now that was a worked sumo match, so the results weren't real. Somebody gets hurt, they come with the stretcher to take you out. But in this case, they had to use a forklift because he was so heavy that that's basically the only thing that could pick him up. Now, all of this was fake, though. Nothing really happened. His leg didn't really break. For a second time, he went home. This time, it was in the middle of a tour. They were in the UK. He went home, tried to lose weight through exercise and dieting. He was replaced by other wrestlers when he left. He dropped a reported 100 pounds, but it was not enough. It was not enough to satisfy the officials there. And he was not medically cleared to wrestle. Yokozuna was unable to pass a physical required by the New York State Athletic Commission, so the WWF had to release him from their contract. It was in May 1998 when he was officially released from his contract, and that decision came from Vince McMahon, the boss himself, again because of his weight issues. It was said that he knew his release was coming, and the WWF, they didn't want liability if anything happened to him. They just lost a star by the name of Brian Pillman from heart issues, and they didn't want liability. His last major appearance as Yokozuna was in October 1999. He weighed in at an estimated 760 pounds. And he gained weight intentionally. His goal was between 850 to 900 pounds so that he could set a new record for the heaviest professional wrestler ever. It was October 23rd, the year 2000, when Rodney passed away. The cause of death was from pulmonary edema. He was in his room at a hotel in Liverpool, and he was on tour with an independent wrestling company. At the time, it was reported that he died of a heart attack, but that was later found to be incorrect. His lungs showed there were severe signs of blockage due to fluid. Rodney's weight at the time of his death was 580 pounds, so he did lose some weight compared to what he was before. On March 31st, 2012, he was inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame by his cousins, Rikishi, and his sons, the Usos. It might have been a little overdue, but at least he got what he deserves. So I actually got Rodney some flowers right here. There's no vase to put them in, but I'm just gonna lay them right there. Rest in peace, Rodney. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me here visiting the final resting place of Rodney Anoai, also known as Yokozuna. If you guys like these videos, give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and like always, I will see you guys in the next video.